I'm a Gito, she know, he know, the streets know I get 'em by the kilo. Nino, if you need those, holler on the dealer. I'm a Gito, she know, he know, the streets know I get 'em by the kilo. Nino, if you need those, holler on the dealer.
What's up, my nigga Stagalee, baby?
Hey, what's going on with you, boss?
Pleasure to have you, man. I appreciate you coming through with the Glenfiddich.
Right here.
Let's pop that. We're gonna start off with a shot. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start off with a shot, and I'm gonna sip a little something. Yeah, I asked my man. I said, like, bro, like, you know, what you want to sip on? He said, oh, don't worry about that. I'm gonna come through with a little something.
You know, I gotta come through with the stag bottle.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. So welcome back to another episode of Poolside Chats, man. While we pour up. Appreciate you, my nigga. Got my man Stagalee here, LA native. I swear I thought this nigga was from like Pittsburgh or something, man. He's still his fan. I don't know how.
Oh, yeah, die hard. That's my grandfather.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Toast to success, baby.
Success, baby.
That ain't bad. Is that a bourbon or?
No, it's a scotch.
It's a scotch, okay.
And this is right here. This is the 12 year, but you know, the higher the year, you get a little smoother.
Right. Yeah, because I got a homie that was trying to put me on. You want to sip a little bit too, or you?
Yeah, we can do
Because
that.
I'm gonna sip a little something. You want some ice?
No, I'm gonna go neat with it.
Just go neat. I'm gonna give me a little ice or something. There's that for you. But yeah, I got a partner of mine. He was trying to tell me about Glenfiddich for quite some time now. You know what I'm saying? And I never really sipped on it. Oh, my nigga. That'll work right there.
You know, y'all more than welcome to get your glass out at home and
Sip along with us.
something with
You
it,
know what I'm saying? To my homegirl, Danny, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Danny.
But yeah, so just I want to introduce everybody. Introduce you to everybody. You know what I'm saying? My man Stagalee. Shit, we didn't had a lot of good times together, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a while. It's been a ride, man.
Yeah, definitely been a ride. You know what I'm saying?
Glad to see you doing your thing and you know, success things happen for you.
That's what I
You've always been one of the good brothers that I knew, man. One of the real
Likewise,
ones,
bro. Likewise.
It's good to see you out here doing it, you know?
Yeah, because like, you know, like where we met at, like the circle of friends that we met, it's not really a lot of us is still really rock tight. You know what I'm saying? So it's real love that like me and you still rock the way that we do, man. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to have you on. I know you got a lot of entrepreneur opportunities coming up, like the cooking show that you're thinking about starting. I want to talk about that a little bit, and then like as we get going, you know, just talk about everything that we do out here.
Life, man. What's been going on? What's going on in the world? It's a lot of real shit happening out here.
A lot of real shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about the cooking show that you're about to start.
The cooking show basically is for my baby. You know, my baby girl. For those that don't know, I'm in a dominant submissive dynamic. It's a relationship that has a dominant submissive element to it. My baby is a chef, a great chef. She does amazing things with food, so she wants to teach that, along with giving people an understanding of what our dynamic is. Because a lot of people have a misconception of what that is. They think it's something negative, where it's, you know, degrading or demeaning, but it's completely the opposite. So, you know, she'll show that, and you know, anybody that's been around us or has seen us, they already know.
Right.
They know how we care about each other. They know that what we do is just an expression of that love. You know,
exactly.
Submission is an expression of love. My responsibility is taking care of her is my expression of love. So we just want to get that out there too.
Definitely.
Along with some good food, because she get down. So, you know, and it's going to be something I want to be able to bring to people. They can come be a part of it, you know, and be able to ask questions and eat and talk and have drinks. So it's bigger than just a show. You know, it's actually an outreach to try to mend some understandings, maybe help people in their own lives, in their own relationships that might not understand why we do the things that we do, both men and women. It's a lot of fault that goes around between both of us, but it's a lot of, women should do this or men should do that.
Right.
Instead of, we should do this.
Right.
And let's do it together. Let's work together to make it happen. So.
And another thing about that too, I feel like it should be less men should do this, women should do this, but this particular couple should do what works for this particular couple.
Exactly.
If everything is copacetic and everybody's safe and everybody's happy, who am I from the outside looking in to tell you what to do?
Exactly.
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
the thing. It's the dominant submissive thing. That's our dynamic. That's what works for us.
Right.
that's not saying that every relationship should be a dominant submissive relationship. Every woman should do what she does or is capable of doing what she does. You have to find what your dynamic is. If you have a relationship that has no dynamic, that's normally the relationships that don't make it. They fail because a dynamic is just something that is set in place. It's a system that keeps you working towards a goal, keeps you working towards progress and growing in that relationship. So most people don't have that. They just get together, they you know, love each other, or they feel, you know, comfortable with each other, and they stay there.
Right.
And then when issues arise, they fight about it.
Right.
Because if you have a system in place, you have a way to deal with issues. You have a way to communicate without it being an argument, without it becoming a, you know, you're right and I'm wrong. It's just a matter of what's going to be best for us. What's going to be best for this relationship, this dynamic. So it just changes your focus, having any type of dynamic. It may be just the fact that, you know, if you're in a religion, you may have a religious dynamic, but you have to have something. It can't just be like, oh,
there has to be some sort of
what I want to do, and you used to doing what you want to do, but now I don't want you to do what you wanted to do no more. I want you to do what I want you to do, and that becomes a lot of conflict. You know, people don't understand that, you know, those are things that you should already have established before you even jump into a relationship.
Right. Like, I'm like people be like, first dates are always like fake. You know what I'm saying? Whereas people like go on a first date, they don't have these genuine conversations, and you don't find out who a person really is until you've been dating them for like a month. Right. Like, why can't we have these conversations on the first date?
I mean, I normally come out front whenever
I'm sure you do, somebody, but I'm saying in general.
And we discuss it, and I'm kind of up for what I'm into. You know, I'm into whether it be, you know, the dominant submissive aspects of relationship, whether it be, you know, the family aspect of it, because I'm a father before anything.
Right.
That's like my first job, so my first responsibility is to my kids. So
definitely.
But, you know, that also adds a structure with them. More kids need dominant parents. They need a dominant father in the house.
Right.
Going to, you know, lay some rules down for them, some type of structure for them. And, you know, that starts with everybody in the house. Your kids aren't going to respect the rules if they see you guys arguing and fighting and doing things. So you have to always kind of like be on the same page with things, you know?
And that's one of the biggest problems in the black community is that the father isn't in the house. And like a lot of times, not only, like, society is already doing everything they can to keep the black man out of the family environment. And then we've got all these reality shows and TV shows showing us that women should also be keeping the child's father out of their life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just such a terrible thing where, like, even if you look at television nowadays, like when me and you came up, like, you know, we had the Cosby Show, we had Family Matters, we had so many different family shows.
We saw fathers.
Exactly.
And that was pivotal for me because, you know, my dad wasn't around, so a lot of the father figures that I did see were from TV.
Right.
Because my real life male influences was where I got my negative behavior from growing up.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, they were there. And it gave me that sense of masculinity that I needed, you know, not to become completely, you know, feminized by the women that were in my life, because I was raised by a lot of women.
Right.
Know? So I had to have some type of male influence around me, whether it was, you know, an aunt's boyfriend or my homies next door or the big homies or whoever it was, you know. But
and nowadays you look at television, there are no black family shows. Like, it's Blackish, and that's about it.
No, the dudes they got on these shows now are cheating on their women.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it's all these quote-unquote reality shows. But it ain't reality at all. They scripted.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So like to get back
it's
to
some people's reality. But that's the thing. It's like nothing's general anymore. You can't say, oh, this is what you're supposed to do anymore, because there's so many different types of relationships.
So many different ways
to live. So you have to really just be on the same page. A lot of people have this attraction towards one another, and they think that attraction just automatically translates into we're supposed to be together.
Right.
Instead of seeing if you're even compatible. It's simple as the game you played when you was a kid, the little squares and the circle and the stars and shit.
Right.
You like it, you know what I mean? You might like the shit out of stars.
Right.
If you a circle or a square, that's just not compatible.
Right.
You can try to squeeze it in there or whatever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you really kind of just got to know what's best for you and don't accept anything other than that. Even if you care about somebody, you have to understand that they might not be the best person for you. It may be somebody else that's going to make them happier and somebody that's going to make you happier. You don't have to alter and change who you are to please nobody.
And the number one thing is being honest with yourself. Like, if you don't know what you want, then how am I supposed to know what you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be honest with yourself. Like especially like with the dominant and submissive thing, I've come across women that feel that they need to fit a certain mold in order to impress me and try to do something that they're not comfortable with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it ends in failure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, be who you are. I don't need you to be who I am.
Yeah. And it's a lot that goes with that too, because if a woman does care about you, she is willing to do whatever or try whatever it is to try to make you happy. And it should be both ways. You know,
right.
You should want to put that effort into it, but it should be something that you do voluntarily.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be something that is forced on you, like, oh, you know, you have to do this to be with me, because that's not, you know, love right there. That's not the person you love. You have to change that. So,
right.
You know, but if you voluntarily just want to be a better person for the person that you're with, and it's like, I can sacrifice having, you know, other women, or I can sacrifice my homegirls that are a bad influence talking to me and telling me, you know, just bad shit all the time.
Right.
I can do that for the betterment of my relationship, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You should want to put that in. But
I agree.
You have to be honest with yourself, like you said. It comes with being honest with yourself. Is that what you really want to do?
Right.
Or do you want to be comfortable with the life that you choose for yourself? Either way, you choose it for yourself. So,
without question. And like, and another thing, like especially like with the dominant submissive dynamic, I feel like it's something that's not talked about, and it's not something that like a lot of people really know information about. So most people are basing like the whole BDSM world off of what they see in 50 Shades of Grey, which is cool. But it's a pretty G-rated representation of what that lifestyle really is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So like when that film came out and you saw, I'm assuming you saw it.
I seen the first two.
And like when you saw it, like what was your initial thoughts of it?
I mean, it was, you know, a movie, I guess. I didn't really connect with it like
right.
You know, on that aspect, because I'm not a rich billionaire dude. Like
right, right. That was a running joke. Like if Christian Grey was broke, he'd have been a weirdo.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Wouldn't have been romantic at all.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's how most women view it, because they look at you, and the first thing they think of is like, oh, how can you even, you know, take care of
right.
having a submissive, because they think you need to have all that. But
right.
So I mean, but it had this introduction to a lot of people that didn't know, and it did pique a curiosity for a lot of women that then became more interested in what it was about. So it did open doors, it did that, but it didn't give a clear representation of what it's about.
Right. Because like I think they romanticized it a little bit too much.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that it can't be romantic, because obviously it can, and obviously it is.
Yeah,
but like I feel like they Disneyfied it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they made it like a happily ever after.
Like Cinderella story, she's playing from, you know, he's like this. Yeah, exactly. They did that, but that's what they do, you know, to make it. But the book I heard was amazing. I never read the book.
I never read the book either.
My baby read it, I think, 10 or 11 times. She loved it. She read all 3 of them. Like, I promise you. She hates the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing, you know. The book may be a better depiction of the lifestyle, because she was able to connect more with the book.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't base it on the movie. If you've seen the movie and you haven't read the book, I would say read the book, because I didn't like the movie, but she read both. So
the one thing that I did like about the movie is like before the movie came out, you know, if I'm sitting, I'm chopping it up with a chick, and I'm like, hey, you know, got some rope at the crib, I'd like to tie you to the bed and spank you a couple times. I was a weirdo. But like now that the movie that came out, it's like, oh, really?
You into that? Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
like before, like if you tell a chick, you know, I'm into BDSM, they're like, what's that? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. But like now, you could just say like, you know, I'm on that 50 Shades of Grey shit, and they be like, oh, really?
And they get a little bit more. It gives them a visual,
right? And then like you said, the interest gets sparked a little bit. Like, oh, really?
Yeah. And then, like I say, every dynamic is different. Every dominant submissive relationship is different.
By far.
So it's not like that may be somebody's real life situation, but in most cases, your relationship you can add a dynamic to the relationship.
Oh yeah.
And begin to just practice, you know, respect for one another, and etiquette, and being catering to one another, and you know, it's a lot that you can gain from it, but it's just all how you look at it. You know?
Without question.
A lot of women look at it, they see the spanking, and they're like, oh no, you ain't finna beat on me.
Right.
Like, that's not what that's about.
It's not at all. Like if you're not getting some type of erotic satisfaction out of it,
you try something different.
Right.
It's about trying something different. It's about exploring. That's what BDSM is. It's exploration of your fetishes, of you know, things that you would want to try. You may read some stuff. A lot of it is just research. A lot of it is reading. It's not even stuff that you're doing. It's like, okay, let me see what this is about. You read about different fetishes, different kinks that people are into. And a lot of that shit, you be like,
nigga, not for me.
That's not for me.
You're right.
You
know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Like, I'm cool.
You're not going to do that. And you might be like, she might be like, well, I don't know, Daddy, I might want to try that.
Right.
Like, well, if you want to try it, then
we'll try it.
We'll try that. As long as it don't violate nothing I personally have, my limits, then we good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm open to whatever it is that she wants to explore, and she allows me to, if I have a curiosity about something, to explore that with her.
Right.
And that's what the BDSM element adds to a relationship. It opens up the sexual communication between you, because then you're able to tell your partner, like, this is the nasty shit that I think about. I don't want to tell you because I don't want you looking at me like I'm a hoe, thinking, what type of bitch am I fucking? And a lot of women have that fear, and then vice versa. Men are like, damn, I don't want to tell tell her I want to do this, because then she's gonna be like, oh, is this type of shit? You out here, you this type of shit? So exactly. It breaks down that barrier to where you're like, okay, this is what I'm thinking, about this. What do you think about it? And then we'll try it. If we don't like it, you try it.
We tried it.
Don't do nothing, fatal that can lead to nothing.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
If you can try it safely, safety is always the key with anything with BDSM, because BDSM just adds structure to your sex life. Things that you've been doing your whole life is BDSM.
Really is.
If you got choked, that's BDSM. Right. It's about how do you get choked. Because somebody choked you the wrong way.
Right.
You get your neck,
fuck around, pass out.
Press your windpipe or something. You're done. So it's about learning how to do the things that we naturally do. It's a natural instinct that you gain.
Right, like if you've ever taken your tie off and tied a chick to the bed rail,
right,
you dibbled and dabbled,
ass, whatever it was,
you know what I'm saying?
Did something, but it's about learning how to carry that on, to the next level of, okay, this is why I do this. This is what the stimulation you getting from this. This is how it affects you, on a physiological level, where,
And not only does it open up the sexual communication, but I feel like it opens up communication in general, because like once you're able to talk about like these wild, crazy, nasty ass things, it makes it easy to talk about regular everyday things too.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if I can tell this nigga I want X, Y, and Z, I can definitely tell him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it opens up communication in a lot of avenues.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And especially like having that protocol too, like because like now. Like if you tell your submissive, this is how you ask me for something, or this is how you know what I'm saying, have a request for me, she realizes it doesn't just mean bedroom wise. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have a request in another way,
carry out
get a little
every
swag.
day, all the time. It should always be there. You should always have that, for one another. So, and a lot of people see the one side where she's doing things for me, and it's like at home. Or just every day, anything that she's willing to do for me, I've been willing to do for her.
Right, without question.
And she knows that, she understands that, but she understands that that's not my role. She feels safe with me, she feels protected, she feels like she's cared for, she feels provided for, because she is.
Right.
And that's how she's supposed to feel. And I've tried to offer that, in any dynamic that I've been in. And I may not have always done things in the right way, because I was learning.
It's a learning process, exactly.
Myself, you learn things. Trial and error, all of us. We learn things from every relationship. You should gain something from it, even if it was bad. But for it to end on, just fuck you. That's wishing bad on each other.
Right.
That's not beneficial to anybody.
It's like we never had any love in the beginning if we're ending in that particular way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Way. It makes you question what's real about love, and a lot of people have that negative outlook on love based on a lot of bad relationships, because they blame it on, if I wouldn't have felt this way, I would have never gotten hurt, or I would have never had to go through what I had to go through. So then it gives you that stigma of not wanting to open yourself up to it again.
Gotcha.
And then, we human, so we still gonna want it, we still gonna long for it, so then we try to find different ways of getting it. Well, I'm not gonna fuck with any more light-skinned niggas no more, because the light-skinned nigga hurt my feelings.
Right.
Or I'm not fucking with niggas named Michael, because the nigga named, like, okay, if that's what you feel, but still, be open to the fact that, just learn what you can from it, from both sides. I'm sure it wasn't all bad at one point in time.
Right, definitely.
At one point in time, you were with somebody, you had feelings for one another, you cared for one another, it was good. Learn from what you can and make yourself better from it,
Definitely. And so how long have you been practicing BDSM?
Probably about 5 years now.
Okay. And how did you get turned on to it? Like, how did you finally realize, like, this is something that I might be into?
I mean, I've always been like freaky.
Definitely.
I've always been with the business, so.
Definitely.
But no, that's what I was saying. A lot of things that you learn that you've already been doing your whole life apply to it. Rope. I've been tying rope, for a long time. I tie rope at work.
Gotcha.
I just applied that to, bodies, women, body parts. And that's just the matter of learning where to place rope to where you don't cut off, circulation and things
right,
like that.
Right.
Like I say, it's just educating yourself on things that you already do. It should be a part of your nature. You can't force yourself to be a dom or a submissive or
either way
or anything.
Either
you can't
way,
force
yeah.
yourself to be anything that you're not. If you're a dominant woman, then you're a dominant woman.
Right.
You're not going to force yourself to be submissive to somebody. Now, there may come a time where you meet a man that you feel you're able to let your walls down with and be comfortable doing things for him, and you may not. Who knows?
Right.
You can't force yourself into any role. So that's why a lot of times when people ask me like, "Oh, can you tell me how it is?" and I can't teach you how to do anything.
Nah.
But, whatever you into, you kind of just gotta learn about it.
Right.
Learn about yourself. It's self-exploration. It's actually getting more in touch with like, damn, am I into this? Let me see what this is like.
Right.
Because for a long time, I thought a lot of kinky shit I was into, it was just like, damn, I'm thinking like, damn, I am a weirdo.
Right, I'm fucking weirdo, man. Like why do I like this shit?
But then I started seeing like, okay, this is a thing. This is people.
Right. Like there's a whole community. There's like a whole, you know what I'm saying? And like it's starting to become a little bit more prevalent now because like, like the 50 Shades of Grey and shit like that. And like even like I don't know if you heard this film. It's called Professor Marsden and the Wonder Women. Have you
I
seen
haven't
that?
watched it, but I've seen it.
Watched it. Apparently, dude that created Wonder Woman was in a polyamorous relationship with his wife, and they had a little side chick, and they all came together. And I was sitting there watching this shit like, what?
No, I've seen the.
It was a good movie
I've
too.
Seen the box of it, the box cover.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but like dude invented the polygraph. He was the inventor of the polygraph, and he was like one of the main contributors in like and like if you look at especially like the early Wonder Woman, like you can still see traits of it now, but it's heavily influenced by the BDSM lifestyle.
Definitely, the robe,
heavily influenced. The robe, the corset,
the whole little shadow,
right?
She was definitely with the dominatrix for sure. She had the boots. A lot of that was going on back then.
Right,
it's everywhere. It's
and he like fought for that.
It's a part of this culture. This culture is just sex. They sell cheeseburgers with it, all that type of shit.
Look at our president. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just we're a sex-based society. You know what I mean? Our thoughts just automatically go, and that's not always a good thing because that keeps you, with the tunnel vision of not really seeing or understanding anything outside of that. You think when somebody try to talk to you or holler at you, it's just because they want to fuck you.
Right.
It may just be somebody genuinely interested in knowing you, or they might see something in you or about you, but if you stay on that mindset where like every man that just holler at me want to fuck me, or then you might miss out on the man that you're waiting for.
Right. Because and like the key point that you keep touching on that I really want to make sure we hammer home is to be open minded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people are so close minded about things, they just they hear something, they just automatically want to boom. Or like you said, like a man might slide in your DMs and you just say, oh, here go another thirsty nigga, but like he really might be talking about something.
Yeah. And I understand, there's a lot of thirsty niggas.
There's a lot of thirsty niggas out there.
So I get it.
Yeah, the thirsty niggas is making it bad for everybody.
Because if I say something to you and you like, I done been curved plenty of times. Right. And then it'll be like, okay, I'll take it and be like, all right, well, that's cool. I understand. I was just trying to see, where you were like on some other shit. But
right. Like didn't have nothing to do with like trying to get into your pants or nothing. It just was like really just like, hey, how you doing today? Like you made an interesting post on Facebook. I was just, like to talk to you. You seem like an intellectual type of person I'd like to have a conversation with. And you never know where that can lead into.
And it's weird because I've had that happen where I've tried to, just say hi or communicate with somebody, and they take it the wrong way and be like, oh, no, I'm not into this. I'm like, okay, well, that's what's up. I'm not trying to, every woman I meet, I'm not trying to make into a submissive.
Right.
I have women that are just friends. I have people that just come through, kick it, smoke, eat, we chill, we go out. And, I have friends, like, I've been doing like practicing for 5 years, but everything else I've been doing, and people do way freakier shit they don't even know about. Freakier shit. So it's like
you know what I'm saying? And that's another common misconception. Like people think that like just because you're into like the dominant submissive thing that every single thing you do got to be wrapped around that. Like, nah, not necessarily. Like, you know, I might just want to like just go chill with the homies, go grab a burger or something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe go out with her friends. She, you know, they go out to bars or whatever club they want to go to, and she do her thing, and or we do stuff with the kids, and that's not all. You know, it's still a structure there, but you have to separate anything else. It's just like your regular sex life. You don't do nothing, or you shouldn't be doing nothing in front of your
right.
kids.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, but that's with anything else. You do it in the privacy of your bedroom, or you know, when you send the kids off, they go home for the weekend or whatever it is. That's when you have that time to actually
that wild time.
Do some exploring or practicing.
Right.
But you can always do something. You can show love all week.
All week.
You know, run a bath for each other. Something simple. You know what I'm saying? She cooks every day. You know, whether that's what she does, and she does because she makes sure that we eat every day, like home cooked food. Like we don't eat out. We don't.
Gotcha.
You know, I make sure that my kids eat real food. We sit down at a table. I add that family structure back to where we sit down, we eat, we talk about school that day.
Right, talk about your day.
You know, things like that.
Exactly.
And you know, they ask to be excused before they leave the table, because if not, they just jump up and make sure you know everything is where it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And they have their chores after that. They help. You know, my kids aren't just like catered to. She adds that structure to the house.
Gotcha.
And that balance.
Gotcha. It's a real family environment.
Right. And that's what it should be. It shouldn't be about having a woman that's going to do all this freaky shit for you. You know
right.
what I mean? And that's just me and my element. There are dynamics where it is just a sexual, oh, I'm going to come see you Thursday and Friday. I'm going to come see you once every other week. Then that's your dynamic. Like I said, everybody's
because there's different levels to everything.
Everybody's dynamic is different. So with me, it's more or less like mine is more family oriented.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have a family together. We live together. She's, you know, raising my kids with me, and anybody that we involve or include in our life is going to be there for the right reason. They're going to be there to make that better.
Gotcha.
It's not a competition. It's not about, you know, who can do what or who.
It's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, everybody's helping. You know, it's just like a basketball team. Like everybody has their role to play. Not everybody's gonna be a scorer. Some people gonna be assists. You know what I'm saying? Like some people gonna be rebounds. Some people gonna play defense. Like you got to be able to like.
But it should benefit everybody. If you get into the poly aspect of it, it should benefit everybody.
Without question. Without question.
You know,
everybody should be working toward the same goal.
That, but it's difficult when you have a lot of emotions involved too to really get over that. And a lot of times, you get a different understanding from the outside. Like I've been in situations where I've tried to have poly relationships and it didn't work because the women weren't able to be on the same page, or it felt like it was conflict.
Right.
And I can't. You can't be in the middle where you're trying to pick sides.
Right.
So try to keep everybody happy to where you don't damage any relationship. Like I understand your point of view and I understand your point of view, but neither side wants to hear, oh, you understand where she's coming from. They just want you to be on their side.
All the time.
You know what I mean?
That means they stop listening to reason sometimes.
You choosing her, so it's like, okay. But then later on, they'll become, they'll see each other in different light, maybe able to understand each other and see the qualities in one another that maybe I saw in both of them.
Gotcha.
And now if they can, make that into a relationship and be cool and be friends or whatever it is, then that's a good thing. You know what I mean? It came at a great expense, but...
But like you said, it's learning.
It's learning experience.
It's all learning. You know what I'm saying?
And I just wish everybody the best. I just want everybody to be happy. My mistake in this was I have that responsibility attachment to it because I see it more as a cultural thing because of how I was raised. I was raised by a majority of women, in my house, like I was telling you. So I'm just used to that environment where I'm used to women loving each other and working together to raise a family. And because of the absence, but now I've always wanted to fill that space. Like, there should be somebody here making sure that we're safe and taking care of the
without
family,
question. Without question.
It's like you adapt these ideas growing up and you establish that because when you see a woman that may have been in a bad relationship or may have been hurt or who has a baby daddy that's just not treating his child right or just neglecting or whatever, you may feel a responsibility to that.
Right.
And be like, well, damn, if I can help you, I will. Like,
right, without question.
And I've done that, and then that, it became, conflict. Because it's like, oh, well, there it is, you're choosing this over that. And it's like, no, I just want everybody to kind of work together.
Right.
And if you can't, then you can't. But
it's not that you're choosing, it's just that you're a good dude and you're going to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the shoe was on the other foot, the situation would still be the same. You know what I'm saying? You're just a good person. And
I try to be.
Yeah.
No, I've done a lot of fucked up shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect.
Right.
I claim responsibility for what I've done, and anybody that I've done wrong to or I've hurt, I've apologized for it, and it was sincere because I don't ever intend to do anything. You know?
Right.
But I'm always upfront. Anybody that's also known me known what I was about. It's never been like It's never been never been the first, 6 months of
right.
ooh, oh, this is somebody different. Like, no, I'm out the gate. I'm into this, and that.
Right.
And if you're not into that, then. But if you tell me you're into this, or you open to it, you want to try it.
Right.
Then the process begins.
Right.
Of is it going to be able to be something that you can handle?
Right.
Or is it just the idea of the 50 Shades romance?
Right. It's just sparking your interest.
Thing, like, because they think that it's the 50 Shades romance, to where I don't know how far this movie got, but he ended up kind of just like flipping the whole script.
Yeah. I think in the third one, that's what ended up happening. I don't think it's out yet.
I don't know.
But I think in the third one, it's like
he was going there. He was getting kind of tender.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? It tripped me out when I found out that he was a submissive as a child.
Right.
And then grew into it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but that movie definitely like Disney-fied things and kind of gave like a. But like you said though, everybody's dynamic is different. So that dynamic does exist.
It does.
It's just not necessarily the norm. You know what I mean?
And it's different community. You got, the black community.
Right.
We have our own element to everything.
Yeah,
black motorcycle clubs, black fraternities, black, Masons, black whatever. Everything,
right.
Whatever it is, we have our own
version
of that culture. So
definitely.
Same thing with BDSM. There's a black BDSM and there's a broad BDSM. And, it varies. Even within that, it varies because everybody's, vision is different, what they want for themselves. Some dudes just want submissive. They just want women that, sexually do whatever they want.
Right.
And that's for them. Because you got women that want to be that. They want to be your little sex slave or your kitten or your pet or whatever. And they want that.
Right.
And that's what they crave. And if they can get that from that type of dynamic, then that works for them.
Right.
So it's never, like I said, I don't judge anybody's kinks. I don't judge anybody's, purpose.
Right. Because what I do, everybody ain't going to be into. So
not gonna be into
what everybody do, I'm not going to be into.
Just don't do nothing that's damaging to yourself.
Exactly.
Like, that's going to, cause you pain where you do it and then, you cry yourself to sleep.
Right.
That's not healthy for you. You want to do something that's, like I said, dynamic is about progress.
Right.
It's about growth. Individual growth.
Your dynamic shouldn't be weighing on your mental health. If anything, it should be helping your mental health. You should be able to express yourself. Yeah, exactly. You should be able to express yourself in such a pure and sincere way that's helping you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you crying yourself to sleep, then you either in the wrong dynamic, or B, maybe this particular lifestyle just ain't for you. Maybe you need to go back to vanilla lifestyles. Right. You know what I mean? And people sometimes feel like admitting that this lifestyle ain't for them is a loss or you know what I mean? It's like, nah, just this ain't for you.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because it's not
not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's some shit that I've tried and be like, this ain't for me. Go back to my regular, you know what I'm saying?
Shit I won't even try. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm good with that. Like, but
like, I don't have to try that to know it's not for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
but don't limit yourself, in a way to where it's like you're not open to it.
Right.
As long as it's nothing that violates you, and like me, I don't do nothing, penetrative, nothing.
Right.
I ain't got nothing against, homosexual.
Right. It is what it is.
LGBT community, none of that. It's just not my kink. I don't
Right.
do it. I don't see anything attractive about another dude. I don't, that's just not for me, But if that's what you do, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not in my circle, I'm good with it.
Definitely.
So that's another aspect of it, is the judgmental side of it. You have to just be aware of that.
Right. And that's my thought. Like, even like for me, I've never understood the male submissive. It was something that was just weird to me. Like, I didn't get it at all until I saw it, and I'm like, okay, it's still not for me.
Right.
Like, but like I understand. Like, okay, like my man was really pleased. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was happy, and she was happy giving it to him. So like, all right, well, hey, more power to you.
Right.
I don't, just like you, I don't judge it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I'm not a submissive. I'm a dominant. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna judge. Like you said, I'm not gonna judge nobody's kink, because like, I don't want nobody to judge my kink.
And that's what you gotta, you face with that. And that just comes from misunderstanding. So that's what I'm saying, like, as far as but that's what we're trying to project is the positive side of why this works and why, you know, it is beneficial for a woman to be submissive to her man, not just be submissive to just any nigga. Like, you know what I mean? You know, and that's the thing.
Right.
A lot of women get presented with that because it's just a nigga that want to fuck on them. So it's like, oh, you need to be this. But if you don't have some type of plan established or some type of, you know, intention design for the dynamic, then it's not a dom.
And that's one question I definitely wanted to ask you, because like me and you both know there's definitely a dilemma of fake doms running around, and like people that's just out here like doing things the wrong way, not doing things the right way. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to a submissive, whether it's male or female, in seeking a dom?
I mean, just know what you going into it for. If you're going into it for somebody that's just gonna do some kinky shit to you, then be prepared for that, because it's not an emotional dynamic when it's just purely dominant submissive. It's not a intimate connection. It's not your boyfriend. It's not your man. It's none of that.
Right.
You may see him whenever he decides he wants to see you. It may be in the middle of the night. If you belong to him and you submit to him, then you're expected to conform to, so whatever the protocol of that dynamic is. But it's definitely not going to be, you know, that romantic connection. So whatever you're looking for, know what it is that you're planning on getting from that dynamic, and just, you know, lay it all out. Like, you know, understand what they're in it for. If a dude tell you he a dom, then understand the reasons why he's a dom. Ask him what his plan is. What type of dynamic is he trying to build? What type of relationship does he want to have outside the dynamic? Is there a relationship attached with the dynamic? Those are two separate things. A relationship and a dynamic are two separate things.
Without question. And that's one of those lines that gets blurred way too often.
Right. A relationship can be your boyfriend, your best friend, your cousin. You can have a relationship with a fucking plant.
Right.
That's a relationship.
About to say a chick married a tree about a week or two ago in New York or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it's like you have to know what it is you're going into it for. Are you looking for a man when you're doing this? Because he may not be looking for that. He may just be looking for some kinky shit.
Right.
So they don't talk about that, you know. And then if a dude is just instantly like, you'll know. You know, you should know as a woman.
Describe to me your vetting process.
I mean, as far as,
if it's not too personal to go into, of course.
No. I mean, it's more about interest. If you're not interested in it, then we won't discuss it. It don't mean we can't be cool, we can't kick it, we can't chill. Like, right. I have, you know, female friends where we don't even talk about that. They respect my dynamic. They know, you know, my baby, and they respect her. They, you know, in a lot of ways admire our dynamic, and have been open about that and give us a lot of encouragement, a lot of support. You know, and they may even want to be in that type of dynamic, but like I said, it takes the same mindset from the person that you're with. Right. And, you know, they can't always be me, so it may be, you know, the dude that you might like might not understand it. Right. So now you're a woman that wants to be in this type of dynamic because you've seen what it's really about. Right. You see the type of interaction that we have.
And you've seen the real example of it.
And you see the real love and the commitment that's there towards one another. And you might want that, but that may not be your situation. Definitely. So now you stuck with like, okay, I need to find somebody that can understand this side of what it is I'm trying to get across. So, you know, it becomes that. And, you know, I try to give information or help, but as far as my vetting process, it becomes with interest. If you're interested in it, then I'll tell you, you know, beginning things about it, something simple about it, and see how you feel about that, or ask what your interests are about it. It's a learning process. I need to know what it is that you're into or what you're open to. If you're open-minded to anything, you know, and everything, then that's what we're going to start looking into. Like,
you got to start with honesty. You got to put everything on the table. Got to start there.
Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you don't want to do. And
tell me what the hard limits are.
The hard limits.
You know what I'm saying? I need to know that off top. You know what I'm saying?
If a dude just like, okay, come here, let me tie you up. And you're like, no, that's not going to work. Like, you need to understand where it ends and begins. You know, some people have signals, stoplights, you know, safe words, whatever it is, whatever works, you know, you use. You got to establish all that in the beginning before you start doing the physical stuff.
Definitely. And just real quick, I got to shout out to homeboy, Mr. Sir. He tuned in watching with us.
What's up,
you know what I'm saying? What's up, bro?
I see you. What's up, boss?
Definitely good. What's up, Steph? I see you. My homegirl Steph is watching.
What's going on, Steph? How you doing?
But yeah, but no, that's definitely, and that's one thing I learned from you is that everything doesn't have to be cookie cutter. Everything doesn't have to be the same. Like the way your dynamic is not going to be the way my dynamic is.
No.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not everything is going to be the exact same. Like I'm vastly different than a lot of dominants. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that was okay. Because like, you know, it was a long time. I'm like, bro, this shit ain't for me. Like, y'all let y'all have this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit cool for y'all. I don't fuck with it. But, like, the more and more I was around you, the more and more, like I said, like I seen the way your dynamics were, I realized, like, Stag do things a little bit different than, like, Mr. Sir might do his shit. You know what I'm saying? And, like, Mr. Sir might do a little bit of things different than, like, Ant might do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like...
And that's a good thing.
Right.
Because we learn from each other.
Exactly.
Because like I said, it's always a learning process. Like I told you, I remember in the beginning it was more or less like, you know, man, I don't know if I'm really...
Yeah, this
and
ain't
then
me.
later on, I learned things from you. Or it was like, damn, I feel more comfortable doing things. Because you want to try to stay as close to your nature and who you are.
Close to your nature as possible.
As possible.
You know what I'm
you don't want to
saying?
be trying to fit into a role of what, you know, come from a movie.
Exactly.
Or a book.
Exactly.
Or anything.
Or what you feel you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Like,
you
nah,
want to stay
this...
as close to yourself. So like I was telling you in the beginning, my understanding was I had to have my submissive pretty much involved in everything. They had to pretty much be hands-on with anything had to do with taking care of me.
Right.
Because that's what they wanted to do. That's what a submissive desire is.
Exactly.
Is to serve and to cater to her dom.
Right.
So in that aspect, it was like they had to do everything for me. They had to, you know, open doors for me. And that was like one of the things for me because like I said, I was raised by women. My grandmother and them from down south. So I grew up opening doors and yes ma'am and no ma'am.
Exactly.
So for me, a lot of things just felt out of place to where it was like, oh, okay, I'll do it because I think this is what it's supposed to be.
Right, you felt it was the right
but
thing.
then you get this perception from people where it's like, oh, who is this nigga? You think you're like a pimp or
Right.
And I'm not into that shit. I don't condone that. I'm not with, you know, pimps. They do their thing. Whatever you're gonna do, that's on you. But you know, that's not my thing. Right. So when it came to that, it was more or less like I don't feel comfortable just waiting for you to open the door for me. You know what I mean? Like I can't do it myself type thing. But then when, you know, we came back around full circle. Right. And you were on doing, you know, your thing and you had your dynamics, you know, formed and you were implementing your protocol, you was telling me like, you know, they can't open the doors. And I've done that ever since. Like she's not allowed to open the doors if I'm around. Like I open the door for her. And, you know, I'll make sure that, you know, I go in the room first. I do these things first. And that's just things that I've always felt more comfortable doing anyway. So it's a learning process, but you always try to stick as close to what is nature for you.
Definitely. And then that's one thing that, like, I think that kind of kept me away from things so long is because I felt in order to do it properly, you had to do certain things I just wasn't comfortable with. Right. And then it took, like, hanging out with you, hanging out with Ant, hanging out, you know what I'm saying? And like, even Master Planner, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot from him,
Shout
too.
out to my boy Ant.
Yeah, Ant bro.
Ant introduced me to the BDSM aspect.
We're going to take a shot to Ant one time, man. Let's take a shot, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? But, like,
you know,
it was being around things, and I'm realizing, like, I don't have to do things the way you do things for it to still be cool. You know what I'm saying? And, like, because, like, I'm the same way. Like, my grandmother was a real driving force in raising me. And, like, my grandfather, one time, to the homie, you know what I'm saying? My grandfather, anytime they came home from doing the grocery shopping, as soon as that garage door started going up, it was known that I'm supposed to be out there helping my grandmama get them bags out the car. Right, exactly. Like, if she got to carry one bag in, I failed. So this is how I was raised. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm still that way to this day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? That's the remember I told you the homegirl was smoking that one time?
Oh, yeah.
Just get off work or what? No, I know it.
It's that real live right here.
Right. That's what's up. But yeah, so like that's one way that I was raised where it's just certain things that a man is supposed to do. Right. And I'm not going to allow my dynamic to change my view of manhood.
And that's missing a lot from this generation.
You know what I mean? It's almost even hard to blame these men because a lot of times they didn't have no father in their life to teach them like, yo, this is what a man's supposed to do. This is what a man's supposed to be like. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like it's even.
I mean that goes back to that era, you know, the era of the absent fathers and the whole plan that was implemented to keep that family structure from developing properly.
Right.
Where women had to step up and be both man and father. And,
Right.
And it took a lot for them to do that. But
And even
you
like
still have a key element missing from that.
Oh, without
you know
question.
what I mean? And it's just a lot of emulation of that feminine influence growing up. You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes grew up wanting to be like their mom.
Right.
Wanting to be like,
Right.
you know, listen to the same music, the Beyonce, the
Right.
you know, whether, you know, whatever it was.
Right, whatever, yeah. And that's one of them things where, like, society has just done such a good job of eliminating, like, fatherhood just as a whole. You know what I mean? It's like where I have homies like you, where you are strong fathers, like strong, like really in your children's lives, like fighting custody battles, like getting your children. You know what I mean? I respect that so much because I was blessed enough to grow up with my father. My
Right.
pops was there every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
like,
want to say something though, because I know my girl. She's like super dedicated, Beyonce, Beehive fan. When I say listen to Beyonce, I don't mean nothing derogatory. I love Jig, I love B.
yeah, we don't want the Beehive
that's the
attacking
thing,
us.
We don't want them attacking. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying her music is an empowering music for women,
Right.
and a lot of the young men growing up, you know the choreography to all the single ladies.
Right.
That's not for men. That's not for the black men that's supposed to be
Right.
leading and setting the influence for their family. That's for the women that
Right.
it applies to,
And
that's their thing. And I'm all for it. I'm with it.
Well,
but
without question.
As far as it comes to, you know, when we're talking about the dominant submissive aspect and the dominant male influence in the home, that's what this generation, a lot of it has been influenced by, you know,
Right.
their mother's influence.
Their
'Cause
mother's
that's who was
influences,
there for
yeah.
them. And that's because they had to be. And it's not their fault. It's not an intentional thing. And you have some cases where women just do ridiculous shit. Like
Right.
I've seen stuff where women just dress little kids up, little boys up like girls. And
Oh,
it's like,
man.
I don't understand that shit. It's like now it's become
So ridiculous.
It's become now to where it's more like a trend and like something that's you know popular, or you have to prove that you're like accepting of whatever it is a kid wants to do. It's like when you're a child, you don't really understand a lot of things. You understand what you're exposed to.
Right.
If you grow up in a house where your family hates black people, you're gonna grow up hating black people.
Exactly.
If you grow up in a house where all the women in the house hate men, you're gonna grow up hating men.
Right.
That's just how.
Grow up hating yourself, too.
You're gonna grow up hating yourself. If
Right.
you're a man, you're gonna feel like, damn, what's wrong with
Right.
me? And I dealt with that, not on a massive level, but by there not ever being a stable male influence in my house. It was more or less like I seen dudes come and I seen dudes go. My mom's boyfriend, my uncle's
Right.
boyfriend. My grandma had a couple boyfriends. You know what I mean? Like I seen that. So it was like, okay, I see dudes coming. I see if they cool. Some dudes I like, some I don't. But I always peep what type of man they were, and it kind of developed who I became, my key elements. You know what I mean? And then it just grew from there.
That's one thing I learned too. Like every single person that comes across your life, you can learn something from. Whether you learn positively from them or learn like this is what I don't want to do. Like even if bad influences come into your life, you can still learn from them because you can say to yourself, "This is not what I want to be," and you can learn how not to be that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I did. I didn't meet my father for the first time till I was 26.
Damn, that's crazy. What was that like?
It was, like meeting a stranger.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it was supposed to be like this moment, but for me it was just like, okay,
Just another day.
another day. And then since then it's been, nothing more than that. I don't see him in any different light. But the 26 years prior to me already knew that's not the type of father I wanted to be.
Gotcha.
And I had already laid that foundation. So I learned that from him. And I told him that when we had that conversation. It's not that I have any ill feelings towards my dad or nothing like that. I don't respect any man that doesn't take responsibility for his kids. Or for anybody that you care for, that you consider your family.
Right.
That's your responsibility as a man, to me.
Definitely.
It may not be to everybody. Like I said, everybody's different. I don't mean that in general, but for me,
Right.
that's my understanding of what a man is. Same as what yours is.
And
You didn't let grandma carry you.
Oh, without
go
question.
through shit.
Without
You know
question.
What I'm saying?
And when you said that to him, how did he receive it? How did he take it?
Because he took it like,
Got to. You know what I mean?
with a bowed head. Like,
Right. Did he seem to have any type of remorse, or did he, like at least kind of feel bad, or?
I mean, I think his understanding is just different. He has a lot of issues of his own. Everybody got their demons. I don't know everything he's been through, but I know he was faced with his own demons, and he had to fight through that.
Right.
And I just didn't appreciate the lack of remorse.
Got you. Got you.
I can understand. Okay, I don't know what happened back in the day. I have, children by multiple women. I have three, baby mamas, quote unquote, baby mamas, but I've never abandoned my kids.
Right.
I've never been like, regardless of what the situation was.
No matter how you feel about her, there's still this beautiful thing that came from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We're different with a different era. We're dealing with the late 70s, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with the Reagan administration, the crack. We're dealing with the, it's a lot of stuff that took
There were a
place
lot
back
of things
then.
that were introduced
So,
in our father's
that
lifetimes.
because I learned about what's going on back then. And that helped me understand, or try to understand. But overall, as a person, he's still not a man that I respect.
Got you.
Because to this day, he still doesn't do anything that I feel a man's supposed to do as far as taking care of his responsibility.
Right. Is he in the life of his grandchildren at all?
Yeah, he comes around.
Okay.
He's in and out doing his thing, but it's never where I like,
I got you.
Send him away with him for a weekend or nothing.
Got
that
you.
shit. Like, you come
But
see him, we can hang out.
Even that shows, like, what type of person you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though the relationship between you and him isn't that good, you still want your children to be able to experience their grandfather.
Right.
And you allow that to happen. That's big ups to you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. I mean, I don't try to... You can't hold your kids responsible for
exactly
things that happen to you. Like, he may have been a shitty father, but he may be a better grandfather.
Right.
Time teaches you things, and you may learn some things, but I still see, he has issues that he's working through, and that's what he's working through. But when it comes to my kids, when he does come, and he spends time with them, they love him.
Right.
So I don't never try to change their perspective of him. If he comes around once a month, and they happy that he comes around, I'll let them
let them have that. Let them have that.
Try to change that, and that's a lot of situations that you have in, like you say, relationships where you have fathers that can't see their kids
because the mother wants to be spiteful and
the way the child views the father.
Right.
The child may love the father to death, but then you have, this negative influence from somewhere where the child doesn't understand, but they begin to take that on. And,
right.
And that's it's the same thing, but I try to stay away from that when it comes to my kids. I let them develop their own opinions and views, but I'm never going to expose them to anything that I feel is harmful to them.
Yeah, of course not.
And that's
of course
what
not.
it is. My oldest daughter, I have a 21-year-old daughter that's in college right now.
That's what's up.
Med student. My daughter's going to be a doctor.
That's what's up. I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that right now.
I'll drink to that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Because that was hard work. You know what I mean? It's like she's doing her thing. I'm proud of her. She's working hard. Tara Cheyenne Brown, that's my baby. I love her.
That's what's up. And you said she's med school?
Med school.
Definitely toast to that. That black excellence, that black girl magic, man, we need that, man.
And I remember sitting her down, making her do homework, her crying at the table, falling asleep crying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Getting it done, but it all pays off, And,
that's beautiful.
And I had that situation where, the mom tried to cause that division between me and my child.
Right.
But, and it was more difficult because in doing that, I was the bad parent because I was the one that was always, you have to do
tough
that.
on her.
You can't go here, you can't do that. And now she's older and she's like, she finally came to me, man. My daughter came to me about a couple months ago and told me, like, Dad, I appreciate you being, mean daddy. Like, I appreciate it.
That's dope, man.
And
that's
was
dope.
like, that was the moment, like, I waited. I didn't think I was going to get it.
Right.
Till like 30
Well, you're about to say, another 30, 40 years.
Yeah, for real. Like,
right.
Ever knowing her, because my daughter's savage. She is not with the emotional shit, man. I'm telling you.
Right.
She is like me times whatever. She's like 100. She don't care.
That's one of them things where, until she has children, raising her children, and it start to set in, that's what you felt it was probably going to be. But she probably because, like, the discipline that you taught her at that younger age, now that she's in med school and she's, like, has that discipline instilled in her, and she sees it and she feels it, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like that, I went to college, and I tell you right now, college wasn't for me.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
man, I just don't have the discipline of that is needed to, you know, wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go to school and do all these term papers and all that. It never was me. And like, that's no knock on my parents at all, like, for not putting it in me. But if anything, it was more a knock on the public school system that I came up in, because I didn't have to do none of this shit, and I still was on honor roll or you know what I'm saying. Like, I didn't take no books home, I didn't do no homework, I just showed up to school.
Well, you know, I had a real checkered childhood growing up, so it was really different. You know, the 90s, early 90s, 80s, that shit was different, man. You know, and you know, I'll be 40 in July. You know, a lot
That's
of
what's
people,
up.
You know,
July what? What's your
July 10th.
So you Cancer?
Yep.
Cancer. Okay, that's why we get along.
And, you know, I was there for all that shit, man. You know, my affiliations had me around. You know,
yeah,
that it was going down.
I'm similar. Yeah, I'm gonna be. Like, oh yeah. You was out here for the riots. Yeah, we was watching that shit on TV back in Columbus.
I can go into the full exclusive where, you know, the robberies and the banks and all
that
that was
shit
going in. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how much time you got on this thing.
Hey, shit, we good, bro. Like, we only about an hour in. You know what I'm saying? We ain't too bad. But like, that shit, I mean,
was completely wild. You know?
That's something I know. Like, it was more so in the Bay, but even here, I heard the bank robberies was crazy around that time.
It was crazy. Like, all through the 90s. That's when all your movies came out.
Yeah, to set it off. Yeah, I heard the bank robberies was nuts.
That's what we was about. You know, hitting licks. I was, you know, 14, 15, 16, robbing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Out here hitting licks. You know, banks and all that.
I got a homegirl that's a former getaway driver.
Yeah.
She was a getaway driver at 16, my nigga. Like, what kind of shit is that?
I robbed my first bank at 14 years old.
For real?
14. You know
shit, describe that. I mean, like, obviously without saying any names or any incriminating shit or anything like that. But like, just describe that experience, though.
That just been, you know, I did time for all that shit now, so it's more.
Right.
That's what happened. It's an experience that I learned from. But I also learned why that environment exists.
Oh, of course.
It's to give us these X's, these labels, so that later on in life you have that strike against you already.
Oh, without question.
Because when you're a child, you do shit that you influenced by these movies, all this type of shit. You know,
right.
Your homies, and that's what was going down back then. It was about getting your paper,
right?
And that's what we was doing. You know what I mean? It wasn't about.
And these movies is like people fail to remember that like all these movies that influence our lives. It's some old ass white man that put this movie in place.
Yeah, definitely.
Every single movie that we've ever loved and like grew up watching 100 times.
They had to sign off.
It's some old ass white man that like that put that movie in play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was wild, man, and it was you know, I was already into a bunch of shit, but as far as like robbing shit, I would never on nothing, you know, crazy like that.
Right.
I was jacking niggas, you know, for shit like that, but
see, I was never able to like steal from another nigga. Like I can steal from a corporation. I can't steal from niggas.
Well, you know, you're 14. That's what you're working with.
Yeah, so
it
is what it is.
I wasn't doing shit till I got jacked twice. I got jacked twice before I was like, man, fuck this. I'm on the wrong side. You know what I mean?
Right.
I need to get my action going because,
right.
You know, niggas is out here. You know what I mean? That's what it was back in that time.
For me personally, I always felt like I couldn't be a stick-up kid because I feel like another nigga gonna kill me. I feel like this person behind this counter ain't gonna kill me.
Yeah, it happened.
That's what I feel like.
They kill you too.
I mean, they do. But that's how I rationalize things, though. I always feel like this person here working for this $8 an hour ain't gonna kill me.
Nah, man, Keisha Thompson, she got.
Nah, yeah. I mean, I understand. You know, I'm just saying that like that's where my mindset was.
It's a cruel world out here, you know.
Oh, without question.
Especially our people, man. We under attack, you know, constantly under attack from every angle, you know, and even within our own community, we under attack. But we need to get control of that, you know. Like I said, I made it through a time where a lot of my homeboys is still locked up. I got dudes locked up that, you know, I went to elementary school with that been in prison for the last 20-something years. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I done did my time and came home. They still here.
Right.
Or got out and went back.
It's several homies I went to high school with, man, did minimum 10 and plus, you know what I'm saying? So I know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what it's like because I never did know, you know what I'm saying? But I understand what it's like to, like, for a nigga to get sentenced to something that is so much time that you almost forget about that nigga. You don't even remember that nigga was around, you know what I'm saying?
Really. Yeah.
That shit crazy, man.
It does. And that's why it's important to really bring attention to that because it's a lot of brothers that been through that system, especially at a young age. You get caught up, and once you get caught in that system, it becomes a cycle. And unless you're fortunate enough, like for me, I feel very fortunate enough to where during that time that I had to be there, and I set my mind somewhere else. You know what I mean? It wasn't about getting back out and getting back doing the same thing or hustling or having a risk.
Right.
It was a goal that I set to want to have something better for my family.
That's what I was going to ask. How did your how did being a father and being locked up, how did that help you get through your time?
Well, I was only locked up during the time my oldest daughter was born.
But I'm saying like did knowing that you have a daughter out there, did that help you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. That she was the motivation behind everything for me. You know, I just wanted to end up being something better for her. I wanted to be something because I didn't know who, her mom was doing the best she could.
Right.
She had help from my family. My family was always there, but I felt like I was missing, and I was missing. So I always felt like I needed to work on trying to do something that is going to be beneficial to her. It's going to make me a better father for her.
Definitely.
And that drove me the whole time, man. All through school, I put myself through, years of college through correspondence, through the mail. Like, my degrees came through the mail. Same degree people go sit in class for all day. I spent in prison just
That's
writing,
a beautiful thing, man.
Thesis and whatever had to go with it, and making it happen. So
because
when I came home, and it just it doesn't guarantee anything.
Without question.
It just increases your opportunity, and it makes you more aware of what's going on, to where you probably can make better decisions.
Right.
It's not easy for anybody, but
because when you go in, it's only two ways you can do your time. You can either become way worse, or you can do whatever you can to try to make yourself a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Or a lot better.
Right.
Or a lot better.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You can make yourself a lot better. You can make yourself the best version of you.
Without question.
Because that gives you more time than most people are have the luxury for.
Right.
It's really one of those things to where it's a blessing and a curse. Because most people in their everyday life don't have that moment to sit down to reevaluate their lives.
It really is. Because my little cousin, he doing time right now, and he told me to my face, because he had got out, but he back in now on a little probation violation, but he'll be out soon. But after he got out, me and him was face to face. This is my little cousin, he's 24, 25, 20, right around there. He said, bro, had I not got locked up, I'd be dead right now. I was out here right.
That may have very well been the fate for a lot of us, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I know dudes I kicked it with every day that ended up, taking one.
Yeah.
After
Because
I was gone.
he was one of them robbing type niggas. He'd run up in some houses and everything else. He kicking in doors, all that. So and he said getting arrested and doing that little time saved his life. You know what I'm saying? Because had he still been in the street, he'd have been doing the same shit. Eventually, he'd have got knocked off.
But see, that's the thing. And that's not the design of it.
Right.
But it's a numbers game.
It really is.
They realize, okay, if we lock up 100 of y'all, maybe 2 will, make it out the system later on, or even 10. That's still winning. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's still a numbers game. Most of us gonna end up caught in that hamster wheel.
That never ended.
That never ended. You know what I mean? So, but it's a lot of brothers now. We reaching a new age. I want to bring light to my brother, man. DeAndre Taylor, my brother Dre. I love this dude to death. He really been doing his thing out there in Washington and Seattle. His brother Shay was killed by the police, and since that time he really set out to bring awareness to what's been going on with this murder and this targeting of our people by
without
law
question.
enforcement. And he's been fighting this fight for years. Him and his wife, and they spearheaded legislature right now that just recently was passed, and that would be a brother I would love for you to actually.
I would love to,
because
I would love to.
I met him during the time I was in prison. And I was young. I was in my early 20s, 2021, and I learned a lot from him during that time to know enough that he was going to actually be one of the brothers that got out and made a change and did something different. But I had no idea he was going to end up making the type of impact that he has on what's going on with our times right now.
Definitely.
This brother is at the forefront of fighting the shit that's going on, across the country. And he's gotten state legislature passed for police accountability against law enforcement.
And we need that, man.
Killed.
We
and that
need
needs to be
that.
something that needs to be widespread. That shouldn't even be an issue. That's not something you should even have to fight for.
Right.
That should be just common sense.
That should be common sense.
Exactly. Like, yeah, the police, okay, sign that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's something that you have to spend years fighting for, and he however long it would have taken, I know the type of man that he is.
He gonna keep going.
And it would have been a never ending battle for him, and he was gonna conquer that because that's his mindset. So DeAndre Taylor, his wife, beautiful wife Dove, I love them both, and for me, he was one of the brothers that set a standard of what I had to aspire for, even at that time, even behind walls. So it is one of the situations where it might save your life, but it's not designed for that, and it's far and few.
Not at all. It's designed to keep you in that system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like what you were saying, like that Reagan era, that Clinton era.
Yeah, definitely that Clinton era. That Clinton era was massive.
And you know what's crazy is like I hate to like big him up because he did do so much fuck shit, but like at least he's looking at the shit now and he realizes how fucked up it was. He's like looking back on it, he's admitting like, yo, that shit I did was fucked up.
Yeah, that was real fucked up.
So like, but I do kind of give him a little bit of credit for like coming clean and admitting like that he knew that shit was wrong.
Yeah, now I can dig it. You better man than me. I don't give a fuck about your apologies.
Yeah,
you knew it was wrong then.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you had to know it was wrong then.
I think he was just probably putting some money in his pocket.
He was just influenced by everything that every other politician is influenced by.
Some big lobbyist came through and was like, "Yo, we got this $2 million for you, whatever," and passed his law.
Black people supported your administration from day one, before presidency. You know what I mean?
We the reason why you got elected. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't even got in there, Clinton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just a matter of humanity.
Yeah.
What type of human being are you to do that to any people?
That's facts.
It's not even just us, man. It's like we just the victim of it here. But it's everywhere you go. It's somebody that's the victim of the same thing. But here is our experience, and we need to address that. But that's the thing that upsets me most about our people is that we get so caught up in trying to, go along with what's popular and what's something happened to fucking France or some shit, we jump on board like
all over that shit, changing our Facebook picture and all that.
Day right now to us, and nobody's saying nothing about it. Nobody's bringing any type of
one thing that really pissed me off. One thing that really pissed me off is like talking about like shit that happens right here in LA when Tavin Price got murdered a couple years back. Do you remember Tavin Price by any chance?
Yeah.
Got killed for his shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, and not even like trying to steal his shoes. It was like, yo, you got on some red Chucks in my neighborhood. You got to take them shits off, and got murdered like. Nigga in front of his mom's. Yeah. And there was a little bit of outrage, don't get me wrong, there was a little bit, but there wasn't no like the way we, you know what I mean? And Tavin was like what, 20, 21 years old, something like that. Like that shit broke my heart, man. Yeah. Cause I know how, cause like, I'm from Ohio, like, you know what I'm saying? We got gang culture, but it's nowhere near what it is out here. I wear red all the time. Like I got on red right now. It's just normal for me. I wear a whole lot of red because I'm a Buckeye.
Now I'm older. I wear whatever I want.
Yeah.
But,
but that's what I'm saying. Like when that happened to Tavin, I felt like it could have happened to me. Like somebody tell me take my red shoes off, I'm not taking them off, my nigga.
Right. Now,
what do you mean take my nigga? Exactly. What? I got. You know me, I got at least 20, 30 pairs of red shoes downstairs right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Back then, you couldn't walk 2 blocks without. Getting hit up.
Right.
From where this is that, So you had a real strict dress code back then.
Oh, yeah, without question. And even now, like it still exists now, but I live in Hollywood. Anytime I come out your way, you ever notice anytime I come to your house, I'm in all black? You ever notice that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, like I know where I am, and I respect, even though I'm nowhere close to being any type of gang affiliated, I'm still gonna respect. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna come south of the 10 wearing all red, wearing all blue. I'm just not gonna do it.
Right.
Like I'm not affiliated, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like just be stupid. You know what I mean?
You can't just ignore that. You got to become. But now it's more. You really got to try to shift the focus because now people wear what they want to wear anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I done been put up by my own homies. I wear red. My whole home would put up and be like, "What's up?" They turn around and be like, "Oh, that's you."
Right.
That type of shit. And it's like
Right.
They know where I'm at. They know, time I'm on.
And you know what's crazy? Like not growing up in LA, like being from Columbus, Ohio, I never really truly understood why gang culture was as serious and was like as crazy as it. You know what I'm saying? Like I never understood it. Like why niggas so into?
It's human nature.
But like now that I'm out here, and I like really got to see it firsthand, I really do get it. Like it's completely different, man.
It's human nature.
Oh man, that shit crazy.
At the very root of it, like just being human beings, everybody's affiliated with something.
And like,
if
even
you're affiliated with a book club, fucking
whatever it is,
police department, bowling team, fraternities.
Even what we was talking about with the like dominant and submissive, like protocol, and like even like with gang culture, like there's just a protocol, and there's like a, you know what I'm saying, there's like there's certain things that you do, and this is the like, if this happens, then this is what happens.
Right.
Like, you know, like there's just a level of structure.
Right.
And like a lot of people look at like gang culture and feel like it's just such a detriment, and it's such a,
because it doesn't have that structure anymore. It used
because
to,
the structure's getting torn down.
It used to have. It's
getting
gone
torn
now.
down.
Now
it's getting torn
now
down.
it's every man for himself.
For the most part, it's still a little. It's still a little bit of the old days, though.
Very
you know
little.
What I'm saying?
Very little. Because now it's like everybody do what they want. You got riders and you got busters and snitches from everywhere.
Right.
It don't matter where you're from. Ain't nobody, hood, or nobody set like all just 100. You know what I mean? Everybody's shit kind of faulty when it comes to that. But in that sense, it's just more or less like you ride. You know what I mean? You stay true to yourself.
But yeah, that was like being out here. Like, I really understand how people that ain't from LA. I understand why they're so judgmental, because I was very judgmental too. But like, now that I'm out here, it's night and day difference when like you really like see the proper structure, because things happen for a reason when it's done properly.
That's what I'm saying. It's different. Like back when I was younger, you couldn't just go out and just do some shit.
It was repercussions for that shit. You had to go to
your big homies and be like, hey, what's happening? I need, and the homie be like, all right, go take care of it, or they'll give you the okay for whatever. But
right. Or they'll say, nah, my nigga, you tripping. Or
they'll tell you, like, nah, you tripping or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't a lot of that. We had a lot of, bad influence, but it should have been more of that.
Right.
It should have been more. That's where I feel it failed us, is that the generation before us didn't learn anything from their mistakes. So they passed that on.
Gotcha.
Instead of them being like, okay, no, little homie, go to school, they were like, here, take this burner, go put in this work.
Right.
And that's what we did, you know what I mean? Because we wanted to prove something to our big homies. We wanted to prove to them that we was right, that we was down, that we was, worthy of that respect. And in a lot of sense, those same individuals, we had that much respect for them that had they said, look, here, read this book and come back and finish, we would have went home and read that book. Because you don't want to hear that from your parents. You don't want to hear that from your brothers and sisters. You want to hear that from the people that you look up to.
Right.
It could be a basketball player. It could be a drug dealer. It don't matter. If you look up for him, that's who you look up to.
Right.
Whatever he tells you or that person tells you, you're going to be influenced by that. You know what I mean? Regardless of what they're doing. It's not one of those monkey see, monkey do things, because you're going to feel like, okay, in order for me to impress this person, this is what I have to do.
Right.
So they have that power of influence over you, but a lot of times they don't understand it. So they give you the same negative influence that they have. They teach you how to, break shit down, whip it, all that type of shit.
Oh yeah.
And that's what
even like you said about your homie that's doing so much right now. Like, he was one of your good influences. You know what I'm saying? That really got you somewhere, and like now he's going on to do so much more.
Yeah.
And like I really want to talk like piggyback off what you said about the like athletes. Like, athletes don't realize how much power they have, man. Like, that's why I really man, that's why I really respect LeBron the way I do, because LeBron will speak up in a minute on everything. And I really respect Kobe too. Like, I never was a Kobe fan.
I gotta give it up to Cap. Cap set the record.
Oh, without question.
Cap
without question.
He took the bullet for a lot of them.
I went and bought a Kaepernick jersey.
I feel ashamed of every other individual that didn't stand by him.
Yeah.
Like, for real, on that shit. Because
shouts out to Michael Bennett.
Else, it was more or less a statement. And it should have been a statement that we were collectively making.
Kobe said that if he was still playing, he would be taking a knee right now.
Yeah, that's nice, Kobe. Yeah, that's cool.
Right. Like, you got to actually do it.
Right.
I feel you.
You can still do some shit. You Kobe.
Yeah, you Kobe. You're right. You got a fucking Oscar now.
Don't tell me what you would have did, nigga. You still Kobe.
That's fact. But that's why I respect LeBron so much, man. LeBron really be on the front lines for real. Like, he really be out there. Like when shit. Why am I the hoodie and the Skittles and the Arizona iced tea? Why am I? when Trayvon Martin got murdered, you know, like the whole Miami Heat, they took the photo with the hoodies on, and like, you know what I'm saying? And then like when everything happened with Donald Sterling out here, everybody had on the all black and everything. Like LeBron really do be on the front lines for things, and like athletes don't really realize how much power they have. Like if athletes really, you know who I respect the shit out of? Greg Popovich. This white man be speaking out like a motherfucker. Have you ever heard him talk about Trump?
No, but I heard a lot of people talk about Trump.
but Pop, man, he be going in.
Yeah.
Pop sound like one of us talking.
Trump's a popular topic, so
that's true.
A lot of people talk about Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, we in that time, man, where it's just more or less like you have to just really do what you can within your community. Because I mean, everybody knows what's going on in the world, but we're still only capable of doing so much, especially in our situation, because we're still in bondage in one form or another.
In several forms, really.
In several forms or another.
Right.
We're still in bondage as a people, so we have to work
we
at
still
that.
We still so caught up on competing against each other.
Out there, and we're like, damn, that's fucked up. But how do I change that when I can't get free from where I am?
Right.
So we have to kind of just like, and that's what they do. They keep us distracted with shit that's going on everywhere else instead of focus on what's going on with us.
Right.
We can focus on what happens to other people and the travesty that's going on in other countries and, you know, whatever's going on here.
We're way more concerned about what's going on everywhere else than what's going on right here in our backyard.
Right. And that's all smoke screen for us as people. We get caught up in that to where we want to feel patriotic, so we support whatever the nation is behind. You know what I mean? It got to be more or less like we got to take self-interest.
Right.
It got to be a time for us to be more selfish with what's good for us.
Right.
And,
I agree with that.
Know, whatever that takes, we gotta stick behind that. Formula plan behind it.
I don't know where these damn mosquitoes came from all of a sudden.
Yeah, they popping.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I feel like I'm under attack.
Right. But we're gonna get out of here in a second. But before we do, I do want to get back to the cooking show that you're producing, and then like
at Chef Kanae, that's her Instagram at Chef Kanae Houston.
Spell that, because you know motherfuckers gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
ChefKanaeHouston. At Chef Kanae Houston, that's her Instagram. Everything you need right there. You want to get in touch with her if you had an opportunity to try anything, or you had
that salmon though.
Any event.
That salmon.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing it for y'all. We're doing it to make sure that you guys are influenced and get some. You know, everything she do is homemade.
Yeah.
From scratch, seasons, breads, all that. So. And she more want to learn and teach people how to do. She want to teach people that want to learn how to do things. So this is just our way of being able to reach more people to have them come in and learn. So we're gonna be having some dinner parties coming up, some events, some live cooking shows where you can come in, you can do some demonstrations with her. If you want to know some things, bring them down. She'll holler at you, talk it out. She make it real sexy. It's gonna be like a 50 Shades, I guess, element.
I like that.
To the cooking, you know.
Are you gonna name the show Cooking for Daddy?
Cooking for Daddy. That's
I like that. I like that.
You know what I mean? And you know, we're taking that and we just, because this is what I experienced on the day. I experienced her cooking with love.
Right.
And she does that with everything. So when I say Cooking for Daddy, it's not like, oh, everything's for me. This is what she does for me.
Right.
Like,
even when she's cooking for somebody else, she's still cooking for you.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Because I'm there supporting her, behind her, everything she does.
Yeah.
She knows that, so she's still doing it. And she has her own goals and aspirations. I just push that. I don't try to set who she's gonna be or what she wants to be. We communicate
without question,
and I listen to her. And what she wants to do, I try to encourage that and just make it to where it's possible to happen a lot sooner than later.
Right. That's dope.
If she's meant for that, it's going to happen anyway.
That's dope.
She's not who she is because of me. Her submission all across the board is a gift. You know what I mean? It's not
without
something
question.
That
without question.
I done
you have to earn the right to be submitted to.
Convince her
you know what I mean?
Like, that's a gift. She knows what that entails.
Yeah.
And she's chosen me to give that to. And as a dom, my responsibility is to appreciate, value, and acknowledge that.
And nurture and all that, yeah.
Make sure that it's consistently, valued, appreciated.
Like almost in your own way, like being a dom is being a chef. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta cook it up. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like in your own little like metaphorical way.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you cook it up.
Cook it up.
Whatever works in the dynamic. But
Definitely.
Definitely come out. Cooking for Daddy is coming out soon. Keep an eye out for her. Aside from that, she got some other things coming up real soon. So, come out to the live show.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out because I'm gonna have some stuff coming up.
I can't wait to be attendance, man. I'm gonna be there.
I'm still under some non-disclosure, so I can't say certain things.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's coming soon.
Nothing wrong with that.
Be
That's
ready,
what's up.
for sure, yeah. We're going on that ride.
Definitely.
And I know you're gonna be right there with us.
I'm gonna be there.
Sure.
You already know. Yeah,
this is the first exclusive. House of Stagalee. Cooking for Daddy. Handmade, always handmade. Homemade, handmade. That's her thing. Instagram, love it. Let's check it out.
Bro, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you, man. Not only just appreciate your friendship, man, I appreciate your guidance, and I appreciate you coming onto my platform to break out, and talk about your show that you got coming up. My nigga.
Hey, man.
Love you, my nigga. You already know.
Too, bro. For real. Real shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Definitely.
time forever, baby.
You already know.
You already know it.
You know what I'm saying? Come through with the good shit, all that.
Oh, yeah. Let's
so
do
look,
it. We're going to finish this bottle.
Yeah, we going to get up out of it. Fuck, you want to take a shot to go?
Let's do it.
Let's take a shot to go. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We finished way too many fifths on my show, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? My nigga, love you, bro.
I love you too, bro. Man, love each other, everybody.
Oh,
man.
yeah, without question, man.
Love each other, man.
And that's another thing I want to say to you niggas, man. Like, niggas, quit acting like you can't tell your nigga you love him, man. Ain't nothing gay about that shit. This is my nigga, man. I love this nigga, man.
You know what it is.
Yeah, fuck up out of here.
We need that. We need that in the community. We need that across the board.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, shouts out to black entrepreneurship, starting your own shit, doing your own shit.
Yeah.
Black excellence, nigga.
Black excellence.
I'm a Gito, she know, he know, the streets know, get him by the kilo, Nino, if you need those, holler on a dealer. I'm a Gito, she know, he know, the streets know, get him by the kilo, Nino,